If you missed my TikTok live last Friday on how Amber Heard's appeal could potentially be dismissed by the Court of Appeals themselves, go check out this replay. I included the questions and comments by my TikTok followers just in case these are the same questions you have. Here are my answers for you. I'm still trying to get used to TikTok live and I'd like to also try YouTube live. Let me know in the comments below when would be a good time for a TikTok or a YouTube live for you, and I'll see what I can do. I love chatting about these legal issues, not just for Johnny Depp and Amber Heard's trial and appeal, but also other high-profile trials that I cover on Law and Crime. As you know, I'm on Law and Crime every Friday from noon to 2 p.m. Central Standard Time. I look forward to seeing you there, and thank you so much for subscribing. I appreciate you. Hello! Thank you for joining me. If you can hear me, can you type something in the comment? I just want to make sure that I am actually okay. I hooked up my phone. This is actually my third TikTok live. The first one I had technical difficulty in terms of recording it. The second issue went well. And so this is my third one. I want to make sure that you can hear me. Can you hear me, Beverly? Yay! She raised her hand. Thank you so much for joining. I will be starting soon and I'm excited to have you. Where are you from, Beverly? Hi, Patty. Thank you for joining. Hi, Heath. Thank you for joining. If you can tell me where you're from, that would be great. Hi, Liliana, Shirley. I am currently in Texas, in Plano, Texas, which is close to Dallas. So I will be starting in a little bit to give you the big news about Johnny Depp and Amber Heard's appeal. So I'm really excited about this. South Africa, Cape Town, Beverly. Wow, thank you so much for joining us. That's amazing. Hello, Anonym777000. Thank you for joining us as well. And again, welcome Beverly from South Africa. That's amazing. Isn't technology great how far we can reach each other? So I'm in Plano, Texas, here in the United States. And I will be talking about the big news regarding Amber Heard and Johnny Depp's appeal. And I want to know what you think as well. That's why I am hoping that you will give me your opinion as well as we go through it, because I really like it to be a discussion, and any questions you have about the appeals process in Virginia, let me know. So Alice, thank you so much for joining. And if you have any suggestions for me regarding my TikTok live, please go ahead and tell me in the comments below, like speak louder or more lighting, or how should I interact. There's a lot of buttons down here as to enhance and interact. Let me go press that. Lightning Q&A. Text poll, quick poll, vote now. Clearly state your question and what the default question would be. Okay. Okay, I'm not sure what that did. So I am going to end this poll. And there you go. I actually have a question for you guys. I am planning to change it up a bit. You know how sometimes you watch videos and they tell you what the big thing is in the end. I like to do it differently. I want to tell you what the big news is first and then explain how I got there so that you can see and get an idea how that works. So if you can tell me in the chat below where you're from, we will be starting in 1 minute to make sure that we can get everyone here going. And again, I'm from Plano, Texas. I am a lawyer. I used to extern for the Ninth Circuit Court of Appeal, which is the federal level of the Court of Appeals. And here for Johnny Depp and Amber Heard, their appeal is in the state level, of which is the state of Virginia. I'm mentioning this so that you understand that I have background in Court of Appeals. Even though it's in the federal level, the rules are very similar. So I will be using that for my analysis today as well. Beverly, you said, I hope it is good news for JD. It is good news, so stay tuned. And user 9940132680798 from Germany, thank you so much for joining us. Tap a comment to pin. Okay, now I learned and how to pin your comments. Now, please go ahead and share this live to any of your friends who might not know that I'm going live here. Now, are you ready to know what the big news is regarding Johnny Depp and Amber Heard? Now, I always try to be positive in the way I talk. I don't like to say negative things about other people, so that's why I am carefully crafting my words here to be good. And this is good for Johnny Depp. It's good in a sense that the big news is Amber Heard's appeal could be dismissed. Yep, I'll let that sit in. Amber Heard's appeal could be dismissed. I know it's big, right? That's why I wanted to share this with you as soon as I can. And this is based on the filing that they had. And now that I've told you what the big news is, I will explain why Amber Heard's appeal could be dismissed. Okay, so bear with me here because it is, the Court of Appeals in general is very rule-oriented. Everything is based on the rules. So that's why you have to read the rules. I love reading the rules. That's why when I read it, I could not believe what I read. And here's what I'm going to explain to you. First of all, let me give you a background why I think Amber Heard's appeal could be dismissed. First, Virginia Court of Appeals had a new rule that went into effect this year, January 1st, 2022. And the new rule is that one, and I'm simplifying it, obviously there's more to it, but there are three major things that I wanted to point out. One is appeal now is a matter of right, which means that when something happens in the trial court and the losing party doesn't agree with it, this is in civil court, they can go ahead and file an appeal with the Court of Appeal immediately. Before, they have to petition the Court of Appeal, meaning they have to ask the Court of Appeal, could you please hear me? Could you please hear my appeal? Now, it's a matter of right. Now, that's the biggie. That's why Amber Heard was able to appeal right away the ruling from Judge Ascarati to the Court of Appeal because it's her right to do so. Similarly, Johnny Depp had the right to do that. Now, the second big difference with the rule is that because there will be more appellate cases now being heard in Virginia Court of Appeal, the judges were increased from 11 Court of Appeal judges to 17 Court of Appeal judges. So they can go ahead and hear all of those new appellate cases that will be happening. Now, the third thing that I think is very important to emphasize is that the new law revised the appellate rules in Virginia. Now, here's the thing, and it's very important to remember. The rule is still called Supreme Court rules. That's why it could be confusing. It's still called the Supreme Court rules. They didn't change it to Court of Appeals rules, and I don't know why, but it's still the Supreme Court rules. Those are the rules that apply to the Court of Appeals. But here's the thing, the Court of Appeal rules now, based on the January 1st, two new rules are under Rule 5A. Now, I know right now it seems confusing. Just wanted to give you a heads up. I am actually creating a YouTube video where all of this are explained in detail, and the rules and a lot of visuals will be up there. It will be on my YouTube channel. We'll post that new video either tomorrow or on Monday. The reason is because my social media manager has been working really hard for all of us. She has not slept yet once I broke the news that this earth-shattering news about Amber Heard's appeal could possibly be dismissed. So when she found that out, she just never slept in editing our YouTube video. So I told her to sleep for now. So if you can give her a clap and hooray for being such a team player and wanting to get us that video. So I told her, go ahead and sleep, and then you can finish that video, but we'll post that for you soon. So bear with me here. Now, here's the thing. Rule 5A actually mentions, here's the thing. Let me back up. On Tuesday, October 11th, Johnny Depp and Amber Heard filed a document called Assignment of Errors. Assignment of errors. Now, assignment of errors is very important in Virginia. And first of all, let me thank Andrea Burkhart and Laura B. for providing the public with copies of those assignment of errors, because when they gave that for free to the public, I was able to look at it, and that's why I was able to find out this big issue that Amber Heard's appeal could be dismissed. So thank you so much, Andrea, and thank you, Flora, for providing us with those appeal records for free. I really appreciate both of you. So on Tuesday, Amber Heard and Johnny Depp separately filed an assignment of errors. What is an assignment of errors? Assignment of error is very important in Virginia, especially with the Court of Appeals, because it's jurisdictional. What that means is that whenever you hear the word jurisdictional in the U.S. legal system, it means very important. If the court does not have jurisdiction to hear a case, they will dismiss it. That's why those assignment of errors are very important. And I mentioned earlier that I used to extern for the Ninth Circuit Court of Appeal. In other states, assignment of errors could look like issues or appellate issues where the appealing parties are just listing the issues that they want to raise on appeal. And in general, that's what the assignment of errors is in Virginia. They just call it differently, right? In Ninth Circuit, we say it's a question or an issue that the appellants want to raise. But here's the thing. In Virginia, it is not just a piece of document that says, hey, these are the issues we want to raise an appeal, but it is actually a jurisdictional document. Virginia is one of the 5 states that has a very strict rule about assignment of error, and they consider it as jurisdictional issue, which means if you don't follow the rules regarding the assignment of errors, your appeal could be dismissed. That is very, very harsh rule, right? Like if you're filing a document and if you don't follow the rules, then it'll be dismissed. Well, when I looked at the assignment of error of Johnny Depp and the assignment of errors of Amber Heard, I was surprised. I was literally surprised, and I couldn't believe my eyes that Amber Heard's assignment of errors did not comply with the rules. And that is why Amber Heard's appeal could be dismissed, And I was thinking, how could they miss this? They could not possibly miss this. That was what's going on in my head. They could not possibly miss this. Beverly, yes, that is hectic. That's what I was thinking. Like, no, that's not possible, right? And that made me ravage through the rules and read everything and say, wait. I couldn't be seeing this correctly. But here's the thing. Do any of you have a copy of that assignment of errors that I'm talking about that Laura B. and also Andrea Burkhardt actually released to the public? I do too, and I was going to print them out so I can pull them up for you. And again, I apologize because I'm using my phone and I can't do a shared screen right now here. But the assignment of errors of Amber Heard is missing a very critical requirement that would cause her appeal to be dismissed. So here's the thing. What it says, okay, what is an assignment of errors, right? So an assignment of errors do two things. One is it tells the Court of Appeal and the other party what issues or what error in Judge Ascarati's court you're trying to reverse or appeal. So, okay, good. Both Johnny Depp and Amber Heard has that, but the assignment of error also requires you to cite exactly what it is what record you're contesting. Basically, if you say, hey, I'm contesting, for example, I'll give you an example here, and I'm going to read. Let me see. Let me scroll down here. One of Johnny Depp's assignment of errors said that the trial court, meaning Judge Ascarati's court, erred in refusing Mr. Depp's proposed jury instruction about Adam Waldman being an independent contractor. So that's the issue. One of the issues that Johnny Depp will raise is that Mr. Waldman was acting as an independent contractor and he's not an agent of Johnny Depp. Therefore, whatever Waldman's statement was should not be imputed on Johnny Depp, meaning Johnny Depp should not be liable for what Adam Waldman said. So Johnny Depp is saying there was a jury instruction, and remember, jury instruction are the language of the law that are given to the jurors before deliberation. So Johnny Depp is going to argue on appeal when he files his opening brief on November 2nd that Judge Ascarati should have allowed a jury instruction that says Adam Waldman is an independent contractor. But what else did Johnny Depp do in his assignment of error? He actually preserved the evidence. Here he wrote, he preserved the proposed jury instruction and he included the number and the day and the court record number and the page number of the jury instruction and also the ruling of Judge Ascarati that was an issue. So those are the two requirements in the assignment of errors. You tell the Court of Appeal what issue you're trying to reverse, what ruling, and second, you have to cite it to them. Say, hey, where's the ruling? You know why that's important? It's because the Court of Appeal will not look at all of the records, will not look at all of the 6 weeks of evidence and ruling and even the pre-trial rulings. They will only laser focus on whatever you wrote on your assignment of error. So now Johnny Depp told them what the issue he will bring up and told the Court of Appeal where to find it in the evidence, in the record and appeal. Because remember, Judge Ascarati's court sent their record to the Court of Appeal digitally. And so there's voluminous amount of records. So in this, let's say the record is 5 inches thick. How are the Court of Appeals going to find what you're trying to reverse in there? So that's why you have to cite the page number. You have to cite what the ruling is, when the ruling happened, right? To make it easier for the Court of Appeal. If you don't do that, your appeal could be dismissed. And here's the thing. Amber Heard's assignment of error did not do that. She only, and I'm going to read it for you, she only stated what issue she could possibly raise on appeal, but she did not cite the record. And that's why her appeal could be dismissed. And I'll explain more why, but this is the basis of why her appeal could be dismissed. For example, the first thing she wrote is this: the trial court, meaning Judge Ascarati's court, erred in declining to dismiss the action on the ground of forum nonconvenience. That's it. That was her sentence. Forum nonconvenience is basically saying that Judge Ascarati's court is not the right place to the right court to have this, right? This case that they had. But she had to, what Amber Heard needed to do was also cite in the record on appeal, where Judge Ascarati made that ruling. Where was the ruling where Judge Ascarati says, okay, you know what? I'm denying your motion, Amber Heard, about forum nonconvenience. The Court of Appeal will not look through all of the voluminous records to find out where that is. So she missed that requirement. What does it mean if she missed that requirement? You're probably asking yourself, big deal, big deal if she didn't put that in. The Court of Appeal could just look for it, or someone could look for it for them. But here's the thing, and this is what's really important. The new rule of the Court of Appeals that I was mentioning to you has this rule, excuse me, Rule 5A, 1A. And I encourage everyone to look up whatever I'm mentioning here. And what that is saying, if you failed to comply to any of the rules of the Court of Appeal, your appeal could be dismissed. Non-compliance of the rules makes total sense to provide the docs. Yes, Melicol, I know it does make more sense to provide the docs. I just wanted to let you know that I'm briefly mentioning this because I do have one. This is my third TikTok live only, and I'm still trying to figure out how to work this out. So I can't screen share right now, and I know that's my problem. So I will work on trying to figure out how to do that next time. But because this is breaking news, I wanted to get this information to you as soon as possible. But I am trying to remedy that by, I have a YouTube video that I am editing, my social media manager is editing, and we will post that tomorrow on my YouTube channel, Katherine Lizardo, where the documents are actually posted and we highlight things so that you can hear it. Was this perhaps an error on Amber Heard lawyer's side? Beverly is asking. Well, it's definitely an error on Amber Heard's lawyer's side, but the thing is, she hired new lawyers that are supposed to be seasoned appellate attorneys. And so I agree with you 100%. You're good. Thank you. Thank you so much, Millie. I hope Millie Cole 5. I hope I'm saying that correctly. Yes, it is Amber Heard's lawyer's errors. And as I was mentioning, she hired new appellate attorneys that are seasoned appellate attorneys who should know this. That's why when I saw the document of assignment of error that they filed, I couldn't believe my eyes because I was thinking, no, they could not have possibly missed that rule. But then when you look at Johnny Depp's assignment of errors and compare it side by side, I'm talking about physically, then you'll see the error. And it's so glaring. That's why I have a feeling as soon as Amber Heard's new appellate lawyers saw Johnny Depp's assignment of errors, they should have been frantic and thinking, oh my gosh, we missed something very important here. But here's the thing. In California, for example, where I externed for the Ninth Circuit Court of Appeal, citations are not required. So there are appellate lawyers who are versed in other states or the federal level's appellate rules and might not think this is a big issue. And just say, oh, we only just have to write what issue on appeal we have to put. Millie, you asked about attorneys. Aren't they from Virginia too? The trial lawyers, Rattenborn, is from Virginia, but the appellate lawyer is not. The new appellate lawyers, Axelrod, David L. Axelrod, I'm sorry, I'm blacking out on the second appellate attorney they hired from Ballard Spahr. That's the name of the appellate law firm. So the thing is, appellate lawyers are a different breed than the trial lawyers, because the appeals process is so rule-oriented and has a different set of rules than trying a case. And a trial lawyer is not necessarily good appellate lawyers, and appellate lawyers are most of the time not good trial lawyers, just because it requires two different skill levels to be in that level. So that's why it makes sense for Amber Heard to hire a new appellate attorneys for her appeal, because it looks like Mr. Rottenborn and Elaine Bredehoff were not appellate attorneys. Now, Johnny Depp didn't have to hire appellate attorneys because the law firm that Camille Vasquez and Ben Chu are in, which is Brown Rudnick, is a very big law firm and practices in many different areas that they actually have appellate divisions in their firm. Now, Beverly asked, they are big name lawyers. How can they have made such a big error? And just Kate. Hi, Kate. Thanks for joining. Thank you so much for recommending my TikTok and my YouTube. I appreciate you. You wrote, with this discovery of the error, possibly could this cause appeal to be denied? Yes, Kate. I gave the big news earlier, and I said this error could potentially dismiss Amber Heard's appeal. And that is big. The reason it could dismiss Amber Heard's appeal is because Virginia Court of Appeal is 1 in 5 states only that has a very strict rule about assignment of errors. In California, where I practiced the Court of Appeals there, we didn't have this strict rule, and other states don't have this much strict rule. Hi, Kate. But in Virginia, assignment of errors, that document that Amber Heard and Johnny Depp filed on Tuesday, October 11th, those are jurisdictional document, which means if you don't follow the rules as to what information is supposed to be in them, the Court of Appeal could dismiss your appeal. Red, blue, hi. That's why this is breaking news, because Amber Heard's appeal could be dismissed. And so now we know that she made a mistake. Not necessarily Amber Heard, but her lawyers made a mistake by not putting the designation of the record in their assignment of error, which means they didn't point out to the Court of Appeal which ruling, what's the page number, what's the court record number there. And because they didn't do that, they did not follow the rule. And Sweet Sam, you wrote, when I read it, definitely thought it was too broad and didn't cite specific things. And red, blue for Amber Heard's dismissal, and Beverly, this is huge. Yes, this is so huge. But because this is such a new law that only took effect January 1st, 2022, a lot of appellate attorneys, even Virginia Court of Appeal attorneys, are still navigating this water. But you have to look at the rules, and they made her new lawyer sound good just because they won against Sarah Palin. Yes, that is definitely one of their selling point as new appellate attorneys for Amber Heard. Now, that error, you're probably asking, so what if they made that mistake? They could just add it in later or amend it. But here's the thing. The Court of Appeals in Virginia is very strict, which is the same as any other Court of Appeals. It's very rule-oriented and specific. They have a very harsh rule, and I cannot believe how harsh it is. And look this up. Supreme Court Rule 5A, 1A. It says, failure to comply with any of these rules could cause the dismissal of your appeal. Wow, right? And actually, what will happen is this. Let me read this to you. And guys, I'm sorry I don't have the documents up here on TikTok Live. It's my third TikTok, and I'm still trying to figure out how to put up a document from my phone. I can't screen share, so I'm reading it here, but I do have a YouTube video posting tomorrow or Monday where all of these documents will be posted and also highlighted. So bear with me here. I'm sorry about that. So here's what Rule 5A, 1A says. Penalties for noncompliance. Penalties! It says, this court may, so it's not mandatory, may dismiss an appeal or impose such other penalty as it deems appropriate for non-compliance of these rules. So, thank you so much for understanding, Red Blue, and thank you so much, Millie, for understanding as well. So, the court may dismiss the appeal. So, the court actually will do two things. What's that? Invite to join live. Turn off live for this. Okay, decline. Okay, sorry, some pop-up happened there. So, the penalty is two things. The court may dismiss your appeal, or the second thing is the court may issue an order for a hearing for Amber Heard's lawyers to show cause as to why they were non-compliant with the Court of Appeals rules and why the appeal should not be dismissed. That is going to be a shocking order when Amber Heard's lawyers get that order electronically or in the mail. So what do I think will happen next? What will happen next is now the Court of Appeals has the assignment of errors of Johnny Depp and Amber Heard. They're reviewing it. And then one of the Court of Appeals clerk will say, aha, Amber Heard's assignment of error does not comply with the rules. And then they will issue a notice to Amber Heard's lawyers and Johnny Depp's lawyers saying, there is a hearing set on this date, at this time, at this location, and the hearing is for Amber Heard's lawyer to show cause, meaning to explain to the court why they did not comply with the rules regarding assignment of errors and why the Court of Appeal should not dismiss Amber Heard's appeal. That's going to be embarrassing, for quite frankly. I'm trying to figure out what's a nicer way to say it because, as I mentioned, I don't like saying anything bad about someone, but that's going to be tough to get. And then Amber Heard's lawyers will have to go in front of the Court of Appeal before they even present any arguments and explain why they did not follow the rules. This is a harsh rule, guys. A lot of Court of Appeals don't have this harsh rule. And because this is a new rule, A lot of appellate lawyers don't know this. That's why for any of you guys listening to me out there who wants this challenge, please look up the rules that I mentioned and tell me if I'm wrong. Because again, this is a new rule that a lot of lawyers, especially Court of Appeal lawyers, are looking into. And there's no case law, meaning there's no precedent to this rule yet. Everything is happening. Probably 18 months from January 1st, 2022, when the new rule started, that's when it's new law about this, and will be established as to how Court of Appeal appellate lawyers are supposed to navigate it. So I have no ego, no pride. If I am wrong, I will be the first to say, I'm sorry, I was wrong, and this is not about being right or the first person to say this. That's why I encourage all of you to please go ahead and look at the rules and let me know if I'm wrong, and I would be very grateful, and I will make sure to tell people that I'm wrong. But I've read this rule for the past 3 days, and I still couldn't believe every time I read it. And then I did additional research where there is a long-standing history in Virginia that assignment of errors is so critical for them that so many appeals have been dismissed for non-compliance. That blows my mind, because that means that Amber Heard's appeal could be dismissed even before she presents her actual legal argument. The assignment of errors only lists the issues that she wants to go ahead and ask the Court of Appeals to reverse. There's no argument there. If you saw the assignment of errors, there's no argument there. You just list a sentence or two of what you want the issue will be for the Court of Appeal. The arguments will be presented in the opening briefs of Johnny Depp and Amber Heard. Opening briefs, thank you, Kate, for your kind words. Opening briefs are due on November 2nd. So mark your calendars. Both Johnny Depp and Amber Heard will electronically file with the court their opening briefs. And their opening briefs will, Beverly slam dunk, thank you so much. So their opening briefs will have the issues that they listed in their assignment of errors. Johnny Depp only listed 3 issues in his assignment of errors. How many did Amber Heard list in her assignment of errors? 16. 16 issues. Wow! And the thing is, opening briefs are limited to 50 pages. 50. So Johnny Depp will have 50 pages to address the 3 issues that he addressed in his assignment of errors. And then Amber Heard will also have 50 pages to address 16 issues. Now, she doesn't have to put all 16 in there. I think it will be wise for her to go ahead and cut that down and really focus on what's critical and what's important. But I think, wait, will we see them in court? Lexi asked. No, we will not. And I'll explain why. If they realize there, can they resubmit an assignment? I'm thinking no. I'll answer that, Millie, in a second. Lexi, no. Unfortunately, we will not see Amber Heard and Johnny Depp in court, because once the oral arguments are set, if an oral argument is even set, it's the appellate lawyers who go. And I actually have a YouTube video as to how the appeals process work and how the oral argument will work. So that will be, if you can check out my channel, YouTube channel, Katherine Lizardo, I have more details about how the appellate system works. Lexi, I saw you on the Sidebar podcast, I think on Law and Crime Network. Yes, I am on Sidebar, and I was just on Law and Crime live earlier from noon to 2 p.m. Central Standard Time. I'm there every Friday, so join me there. I love sharing my thoughts. And let's see here. Oops, hold on. Millie, you asked, if they realize their error, can they resubmit assignment? I'm thinking no, but here's the thing. If they do realize their error, they can't just resubmit. They have to file a document with the Court of Appeals, a motion basically asking the court, can I refile or cure my assignment of error? And then the Court of Appeal has to agree to do that. And so it's a whole process that takes more attorney's fees and costs, that takes more time. The last time I heard, Amber Heard's legal fees are already up $15 million. And so trying to correct this will be even more money that should not have been spent. So that's a whole different issue in itself. But if the Court of Appeal says, yeah, you can correct it, then they can correct it. But then again, as I mentioned earlier, Rule 5A1A says that the Court of Appeal will set a hearing for Amber Heard's lawyers to show cause why they were non-compliant. And I'm not exactly sure what they're going to argue about that, because let's say they argue, okay, you know what, Court of Appeal judges, it's a new rule in January 1st, 2022. We misread the rules. Please give us some leniencies. The Court of Appeal could potentially be lenient and say, okay, you know what, this is a new rule. We'll kind of give you a leeway. But then again, they're very seasoned appellate lawyers, so the court might not take kindly to that. And especially since, as I mentioned, Virginia Court of Appeals are very strict about their assignment of errors because it's a jurisdictional document. So they might say, nope. Usually if it's something that you can cure, the judges could allow you to cure it, or if it's a formatting error, the judges would allow you to revise the formatting. But assignment of error is jurisdictional for Virginia Court of Appeals. That's why it's not so easy to revise. So let's see, any other questions? Beverly, Law and Crime is where I discovered you as well. Thank you. Yeah, I actually posted on my YouTube channel behind the scenes of my Law and Crime. I don't know if you guys have seen it, but I had so much fun filming that because I'm in Texas, but the Law and Crime studio is in New York, but we all coordinate. And so I put a behind the scenes of how I prepare for Law and Crime, because I appear on their podcast, the Sidebar. I also appear on Law and Crime Daily, which is the end of the day kind of recap, 30-minute show, and Law and Crime on the Record, which is every Friday from noon to 2 p.m. Central Standard Time. I appear on that. So yes, I'm on Law and Crime. And I did cover Johnny Depp's trial as well on Law and Crime, which was so much fun. Sweet Sam, I just read the rules. They definitely did not satisfy the rules of assignment of errors. Thank you so much for checking the rules, Sweet Sam. I mentioned to everyone earlier, please go ahead and check the rules that I'm mentioning, because I have no ego, no pride. I don't care if I was wrong, and if I'm wrong, I'll be the first one to say it and apologize to all of you for a misinformation. But the only way legal analysis and the law evolves is for people to discuss it and say, hey, you know what, I think you're wrong because of this, or you're right because of this. So please go ahead and double check me and let me know. And Millie, good to know it's been in effect for 10 months, so they should have done their homework. Yes, you're correct. It's been there for 10 months. And Beverly, you watched the whole trial? Me too. It was really fun. And we hosted the Q&A, Law and Crime, every lunchtime during the trial. We had our Q&A there. So that was so much fun asking all of you guys questions. And thank you, Beverly, for the kind words. You said you did an amazing job. Thank you. Millie, there you go, I agree. So that's what I have, guys, and let me make sure that I did not miss anything. So So what I anticipate would happen next, as I mentioned, is that the Court of Appeal will issue a hearing to Amber Heard's lawyers asking them to show cause why they did not comply with the rules, and two, why the appeal should not be dismissed. And we'll see if the Court of Appeals will allow Amber Heard's lawyers to actually cure their mistake. So we'll see. Or the second thing that could happen is Johnny Depp can point this out to the court, but you know, Johnny Depp and his lawyers are so gracious and, well, just gracious, and they might not just point it because they know that the Court of Appeal will also issue their own ruling. Millie, I enjoy your videos. First saw your interviews about the trial. Aw, thank you, Millie. I appreciate that. Starla, I had no clue the trial was happening. I didn't think Johnny did what he was accused of. Yeah, exactly. I think I missed the first few days, maybe weeks. Me too. I did miss like 2 weeks because I was busy. I have my own law firm as well, so I was busy with that, and then I got involved because of Law and Crime asked for my opinion. So does such error carry any penalties? Beverly, yes, the penalty of that error is the dismissal. So Amber Heard's appeal could be dismissed by the Court of Appeals. That's why the Court of Appeal will issue a hearing, and there will be a hearing where they will ask Amber Heard's lawyer, Mr. Axelrod, please explain to the court why you did not comply with our rules regarding the assignment of errors. And then they will have to explain, and the Court of Appeal will have to figure out if that's persuasive enough for them to allow Amber Heard to cure, meaning to correct that error. We don't know if they will. And the third thing that could happen is Amber Heard herself can directly ask the Court of Appeal if they can cure it by filing a motion. And let me see here. Again, thank you so much to Andrea Burkhart and Laura B. for providing the public and me the assignment of errors filing. Thank you so much. Oh, you're asking Beverly, does the penalties against the lawyers of Amber Heard? Here's the thing. Rule 5A1A actually says that if the Court of Appeals dismisses Amber Heard's appeal, then the Court of Appeal can report Amber Heard's lawyers to the Virginia State Bar to be suspended, investigated, or possibly disbarred. I'm not sure if it goes that far, but they will be, and I would never want anything like that to happen to any lawyers, regardless of who they represent or who they are. But it is a grave error that the Court of Appeals will tell. And actually here, I will read the penalty to the lawyers. This is what the rule says. If an attorney's failure to comply with the rules results in the dismissal of the appeal, this Court of Appeal may, meaning it's not mandatory, they could or could not, this court may report the attorney to the Virginia State Bar because they did not comply with Virginia rules of professional conduct. So that is a harsh punishment that the Court of Appeal could report Amber Heard's lawyers to the Virginia State Bar because the case was dismissed because of their error. So, yeah. Let me make sure. And again, yep, I think I got that all covered. I know I mentioned this is going to be 30 minutes and we're over. Thank you for your patience. Jess Kate said, such exciting news. Thank you for bringing it to us. And, you know, and I appreciate you saying that, Kate, because I was actually, when the assignment of errors were filed on Tuesday, and then I read it on Wednesday when Laura B. and also Andrea Burkhart posted it for the public to see. And I was thinking, I wonder, like, is anyone going to mention this or say this? And it made me initially question if I'm reading this right. Is there something I'm missing here? But here's the thing, and something I learned and I have developed over time, which is I shouldn't question myself. If this is my interpretation, I should trust myself and share it with you, with everyone else. And then if I'm wrong, then I'd admit that I'm wrong. That's why I was encouraging everyone to read the rules as well. And if I misinterpreted something, which I can make a mistake too, I'm human, so I will admit that I made a mistake. But if not, if I'm reading that correctly, then here's the news. Beverly, thank you for sharing this amazing news and insights with us. I appreciate all of you. I wanted you guys to have this as soon as possible. And my YouTube video specifically breaking all of this down with the actual documents and the highlight will be posted tomorrow or Monday. I'm hoping tomorrow. Again, my social media manager has not slept for a few days because, what is that heart? Just Kate sent hand hearts. Thank you, Kate. This is my third TikTok live, and so there's things that are popping up that I'm not sure what they meant, but thank you for the hand heart. It was really big and fun to watch, so I appreciate you. I will have more TikTok live. Would you guys be interested in more TikTok live from me with this development? I love doing this and interacting with all of you. And answering your questions. And of course, my YouTube channel is Katherine Lizardo. Please go ahead and check that out. I have more information about the appeals process, what you need to know, new terminologies. Just Kate, absolutely. Thank you. I'm hoping to make the TikTok live regular, like every Friday around 3 p.m. Millie, yes. Beverly, yes, please. Yeah, like every Friday, 3 p.m. Because I do go online crime from noon to 2 p.m. Central Standard Time. And so after that, I could do this TikTok live. So whenever there's breaking news, I'll go ahead and share with you, with my community. I want all of us to know what's going on right away. And JLast Scribes, yes, thank you. And that's it, guys. Any other last minute questions, go ahead and put that in the comments. I will be signing off. I hope you have a wonderful weekend. I will be spending my weekend with my family, my 2 boys. And so I wish you all the best and have a phenomenal weekend. Bye.